Hello, everyone. Welcome to Football News Weekly, or some of you call it Soccer News Weekly. I'm your host, Jules, and let's get right into the news. So, today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be discussing the potential starting 11 for Chelsea next season. We're going to be looking into two starting 11s, one being the reasonable. This is the Blue Co system, who I think they're going to sign, as well as ones that I think they should sign. My personal opinions. And then we're going to look into the fantasy one, the ones that every Chelsea fan is clamoring for Chelsea to sign this summer transfer window. So yeah, let's get right into it.
11 is going to be the reasonable category, which is basically transfers that I think, or also how I think Chelsea should start next season. So this is going to be a combination of what I think as well as ones that the Blue Coast system will probably agree on. So we're going to start off in the goalkeeper position, which I think Robert Sanchez should continue as the goalkeeper. Now, I know a lot of you are saying, they need to go for a new goalkeeper. They need to go for someone. But will they actually have the quality to go for them? They're not in the Champions League anymore. It's been confirmed. So what top goalkeeper is going to go to Chelsea and say, I need to go there rather than the club they're at? The ones that they've been linked to, I think every single one of them, their team has qualified to the Champions League. So I just don't see why they need to go for a new goalkeeper. Robert Sanchez, while not the greatest, is still a good, solid goalkeeper to keep. Maybe keep him for another season, see how he is. And then once you get into the Champions League, some more credibility, then you can go for a world class goalkeeper. Now, I know that another goalkeeper that they could go for, or that they do have right now, is Mike Penders, the goalkeeper who currently plays at Strasbourg. He's on loan there. He's actually been pretty good. If I remember correctly, he is Belgian, so that just connects to Thibaut Courtois. A Belgian goalkeeper plays for Chelsea. I just immediately think of Thibaut Courtois. So Mike Penders could be a great option as a backup to learn from Robert Sanchez. So now we're going to go into the right back position. And now I know a lot of people are saying Reece James. Oops, spelled that wrong. Reece James. And Reece James, I normally would be fine with, but I just don't think he should stay in that position. He gets too injured there. He needs to go to another position in this Chelsea team. I think he should not be the right back. I think who they should go for is Rico Lewis. Rico Lewis is a phenomenal young talent, so he fits the Blue Coast system philosophy, quote unquote, and inverts really well into the midfield. He could be what Chelsea have been needing on their right side without relying on an injury-prone Reece James. I think Rico Lewis would be great, not getting many minutes at Man City. I think I saw that he could possibly go for maybe around 50, 60 million. Pretty high for right back, but I think they could. They also do still have Malo Gusto. They do still have Malo Gusto, but he is still young, still inexperienced, and would be a great person to compete against Rico Lewis. Both of them would benefit from competition down that right side. Now, another transfer they could go for, which I think would actually do well, is Denzel Dumfries. He's been linked to the Premier League recently. He's reported to have wanted to go to the Premier League, and this summer, for 15 million, a lot of teams would be looking into this experienced right back, right wing back. But it just depends on the Blue Coast system. He's not exactly the youngest wing back, but he does offer a lot of experience. I do think Denzel Dumfries is a good addition to this team. I am still more on the side of Rico Lewis. Now we're going to go into the center back position where there's an obvious answer, a really obvious one, and that is Marcos Senesi. The Argentinian international has been amazing for Bournemouth this season and would be on a free. He's 20 years old, brings plenty of Premier League experience, plenty of international experience. How could you not want to go for him? Now, I know he's been linked to Barcelona, he's been linked to Man City, Manchester United, Liverpool, but I think if Chelsea really go for him, he would be intrigued by this Chelsea, unfortunately, Blue Co. a structure. I'm not really sure what to even call it at this point. But yeah, I think Marco Senesi would be great. But of course, he's 28, not exactly what the Blue Co would want. But I think it's for me. This is such a reasonable transfer. You need to go for him. Now we're gonna go to the left side of the defense, and I really don't think you should debate this. Levi Colwell and then Mark Cucurella. There is no touching that left side of the defense. I think it stays like that. And everywhere I've seen online from media pundit, from social media, people who cover Chelsea all think that these two should stick on that side. Levi Colwell, the best defender currently playing at Chelsea, and Marc Cucurella, arguably the best left back in the world right now. At points, he is the best. I think it's a no-brainer. Now we're going to go to the midfield, and this is also a no-brainer. Moises Caicedo. He's been phenomenal for Chelsea ever since he signed. And yeah, there's really no touching that position from him. Now we're going to move to the other side of the midfield, and this is where things get a little bit, what people would say hectic, but I think it's the most obvious one, and that is Reece James. I think Reece James in the midfield when he was playing there was great, and I always think about what Enzo Maresca said, which was, I'm keeping Reece James in the midfield to save him. He hardly got injured when he was playing for Chelsea in that midfield. Then he goes to the right back position. What happens? Gets injured. I think Reece James is a phenomenal player, a great captain, and you want your captain to stay fit every single game and would benefit by playing in the midfield. Rico Lewis going up on the right, Reece James coming back to the right back position to help out, just like Joshua Kimmich does sometimes in Bayern. I think it'd work out great. Now, we're going to go into the attacking midfield role, and this is where things get a little bit controversial. I don't think that Enzo Fernandez will stay at Chelsea. I think he will go to a Real Madrid, a Barcelona. He's been linked to other clubs outside of Europe, Man City, another one, especially with Bernardo Silva, no longer staying with the team, going to be leaving at the end of the season. Enzo Fernandez could possibly leave. And I don't blame him. This has not been a great season for Chelsea. Why stay in this horrible system that Chelsea are trying to bring in? And he could be leaving this summer. Man City are not one to shy away from a big money transfer. And I could see him leave. I honestly do. If he stays, great for Chelsea. But if he leaves, I really do see it. Now, there are three options that Chelsea could go for this summer. One option they can go for this summer, and two who are currently part of Chelsea. One of them being Joao Pedro, who can play here, can also play in the attacking role. I think Joao Pedro is a phenomenal attacking midfielder, an advanced forward in the striking position. I think he'd be great in the midfield. We've seen him do it before. He was amazing at it, and I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind him staying. If not, there is another player who is going to be coming back to Chelsea, and that is Kendry Páez. Kendry Páez, who's currently playing at River Plate, is on loan there, has been amazing for them. I think he's another one that could come into this. He's young. He's getting more experience. Yeah, there's really no brainer. I think he eventually will become the next number 10 for Chelsea Football Club if they give him the chance. I think the next person that could go into this midfield, if they really want to go for a transfer, is Morgan Gibbs-White. The attacking midfielder who currently plays at Nottingham Forest has been amazing there, alongside another midfielder that we can maybe talk about as well. He has been linked to many teams, Manchester United, Man City, Liverpool, teams outside of England, such as AC Milan, Juventus. I think he'd be a great addition to this Chelsea side. He's been linked. He wants to apparently leave to a bigger team. And if he wants to stay in England, I think Chelsea would give him the chance in this attacking midfield role if Enzo Fernandez were to leave. Now, one that I forgot to include in the midfield who could also transfer to Chelsea is Alex Scott, the midfielder from Bournemouth. Alex Scott would be a fantastic option for them. And I think I saw that his transfer would be 45 to 60 million. Don't quote me. Trying to remember from Transfermarkt. The Alex Scott would be a great one. The reason I didn't include him right now is because I do think Reece James is a better option in midfield. Alex Scott can come in as a backup, but who knows? And here I'm gonna go with João Pedro, but Morgan Gibbs White also sounds like a fantastic option for Chelsea to go for in the market if they really, really want to. But hey, who knows? Now we're gonna go into the left side where it's very controversial of who Chelsea will go for this summer. A lot of people are saying they should go for several people, but I'm on the belief of I think who they have is honestly some of the best players in the world, but also because they're young and they haven't had much experience. And I'm talking about the likes of Alejandro Garnacho or Jamie Gittins. Both, yes, young players who I think need to be given time to develop. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, no, don't. They haven't exactly worked out well. We need to get rid of them. They have gone through 3 managers in one season. That is a lot for a player to go through in one season. Give them time. Maybe next year, if they don't work well under Chelsea, then sell them. But Chelsea fans are very delusional and think that they can just go onto the market and sign whoever. You're not as big as you once were. You're not. You need to humble yourself a bit. You're not the Liverpool, the Man City that can draw in whatever player you want. You're out of the Champions League. I don't remember if you're even in the Europa League. But you have to focus on who you have rather than trying to sign 1,000,001 players. The Blue Coat system hasn't been working. Give it some time to develop. Give these players some time to develop and don't just go into the next shiny thing. These players are great. We've seen Gittins in Dortmund. He's been pretty good there. We've seen Alejandro Garnacho in Man United. Was phenomenal there. Give him time to get used to a system. One manager, one system, and let's see what they do. That's my thinking. They also have Pedro Neto from Chelsea who can play on both sides of the wing. He's another one that hasn't really developed really well, but he's still experienced. Experience is what Chelsea need right now. So I think they should stick with who they have. On the right side, I think it's pretty obvious. You don't switch from who you have. Cole Palmer, Esteval. Don't switch that. Just don't. Pedro Neto can also play on that side. Yeah. I think another player that they recently did sign is Giovanni Cuenda. I don't remember what side he plays on, but he's another great talent that Chelsea can use. I don't think for wingers they should go for any this summer. I really don't. Now we're going to go into the striking position, and this one's also another controversial one, but I honestly don't think they should go for another striker. Nicholas Jackson hasn't exactly hit the ground running in Bayern, but how can you when you have the likes of Harry Kane up top? He's still a great striker, still scoring the goals. I think if you give him time, I think because of his first season in Chelsea, people have had this stick about Nicholas Jackson not being up to the level that they need. I think he's probably learned under Harry Kane. If I remember correctly, don't quote me, but let me just search this up real quick. The 24-year-old has a total of 7 goals in 21 appearances for the Bundesliga. He's still a great talent. And in the Champions League, he has 3 goals and 2 assists, according to Transfermarkt. He is linked to teams like Fenerbahce, Al Ahly, and Al Ahly in the Saudi Pro League, as well as Newcastle. So Chelsea could be looking to sell him, but I think keep him. He's still a great talent and probably has learned in Bayern Munich. I don't think you should sell Nicholas Jackson. I really don't. But to each their own. That's just me. I think he'd be a great talent. Of course, they also do have another player that also hasn't exactly hit the ground running, and Liam Delap. He's a strong candidate to go on loan almost anywhere. I don't know if Chelsea should keep him. I think he should go on loan, maybe back to Ipswich and continue there. That's just me. I don't see Liam Delap continuing with Chelsea. Maybe he can grow into a better player, learning under the likes of Nicholas Jackson, but I just don't see it. I really don't. This season, one goal. It's crazy to think that he was supposed to be the next big player for Chelsea Football Club. It's insane. The next player also that they have that they can go for is Emmanuel Emega. I hope I said that name wrong. I mean, right. He currently plays at Strasbourg, has had a pretty good season there, is young, fits the Blue Coat system. I think he'd be a great talent for Chelsea. He just needs to learn. You can't just give him the number 9 and say, go do it, pal. You got this. He needs to learn. He needs some experience in the Premier League. He's not going to be the out and out number 9 that you want, which is why I still push for Nicholas Jackson, because at least he knows how to play in such a strong system at Bayern. He has experience with these players when he played with Chelsea. Another one, though, that has been linked to Chelsea is Igor Thiago, the striker from Brentford. Another one, he's had a pretty good season, and he's Premier League experience. So if they could go for him, that would be great. I don't know if they should go for him. He is, I believe, 24 years old. Yep, 24 years old. I got that right. And he has 22 goals and 1 assist this season. So not exactly a creative midfielder, but a creative player. But he doesn't need that. He really doesn't. So I think they could go for him this summer. I think it'd be a great talent for them. According to Transfermarkt, he is worth around 50 million. So he could be great. So yeah. So this is the reasonable starting 11 that I think Chelsea should go for. A lot of them, of course, new players, a lot of them old players. Some people like maybe Morgan Gibbs White could be in there. Some players like Alex Scott could also go in there. Igor Thiago. There are players that they can go for. But let me know what you guys think about this reasonable side. And let's get right into the fantasy one. So we're now going to go into the fantasy ones, the ones that everybody's talking about. Everybody has linked these players to Chelsea. And we're going to start off in the goalkeeper position with Mike Miagnan. Hope I'm saying that right. The 30-year-old French goalkeeper has been amazing for AC Milan and continues to be one of their best players, at times their best player this season. He'd be a great option at Chelsea. But this is what I say to that. While he may be a great player, would he go and leave AC Milan for a struggling Chelsea side? I just don't see it. I don't see him leaving. But Chelsea fans, you let me know if you think so. He's currently 20, according to Transfermarkt, he's currently worth 25 million euros. So not the most expensive keeper, and Chelsea absolutely could go for him. But should they is my question, and will he actually go? Now in the right back position, another player this is a player that, I discussed it already. I'm not really going to go into it. Everybody's saying Reece James is going to stick in that position. I don't know if he should, but that's just me. Another player that has been linked to them is Jean-Paul Van Heck. He has been an amazing player for Brighton, 25 years old, still young, but I don't know if he would leave to Chelsea. As we know, Chelsea hasn't exactly been that great. It's a sinking ship right now. They're trying to patch holes here and there, but they're not fixing the structure. I don't know if he would actually leave Brighton for them. Now, we don't need to go into specifics on the other side. It's a pretty straightforward with oops, with Levi Colwill and Mark Cucurella. Now, I know Mark Cucurella has drawn interest from the likes of Man City, Barcelona, Real Madrid, and he is Spanish. So he would be interested in Real Madrid or Barcelona. No Spanish player has never, every Spanish player has always dreamed of playing for those clubs, or at least that's what I've always heard of. So he could be interested by that. But if I'm Chelsea, I wouldn't let go of him. He's arguably the best left back in the world. Arguably. There are other options out there, but at times he is the best. In the midfield, I mean, no brainer as well. Keep who you have, and that is Moises Caicedo. Stick with them. On the other side, Enzo Fernandez. There have been other links to this team, but I just don't see them coming in. And everyone says Enzo Fernandez, Moises Caicedo would be the optional two midfielders in this team. Down the middle, I have seen some talks of, like I mentioned before, Morgan Gibbs White. I've heard some talks of a Kangan Lee from Paris Saint Germain, but I just don't see it happening. And a lot of people have said that they still do also have Cole Palmer. They also do have, of course, Joao Pedro. And these three are the ones that everybody's talking about, saying this should be the optional starting 11 fantasy wise, because, of course, the talks that Enzo Fernandez apparently he's been talking about wanting to go to Real Madrid. So who knows? I call it fantasy because Enzo Fernandez is in here. But yeah, that's just me. On the left side, there have been several people who have been linked to this club. I'll start with the first one. Bradley Barcola. Bradley Barcola, phenomenal player for PSG. Currently playing in the Champions League, and today is actually going to be playing against Bayern. I am so excited for that game. First one was amazing. But yeah, I don't really see him leaving unless he gets more minutes. I don't see him leaving PSG for a Chelsea. I just don't. He's going to cost so much. I think he's been linked to be around 100 million, maybe 80 million. Don't quote me on that, but yeah. Another one that's also been linked to is Kvicha Kvaratskhelia. I just don't see him also leaving PSG. He's still pretty young. I don't see him leaving such a top quality side as PSG, arguably the best in the world, the best team in the world. Yeah, I just don't see him leaving. I really don't. Now, another player that they're also linked to is Rafael Leao. Now, Rafael Leao, I don't know why they would be interested in him. If you've seen his stats, he has 9 goals in, I believe, 27 games for Serie A. He's not the clinical striker he used to be. He's not the clinical winger he used to be since he won the Scudetto with AC Milan. He's just not the player that Chelsea need. I don't know why a lot of teams are interested as if he's the next Cristiano Ronaldo. He's not. He really isn't. He has not been playing that well for AC Milan this season. Now I understand they are going through a transitionary period under Massimiliano Allegri, but they're still the second best team in Serie A. I don't know why Rafael Leao is being known as the next great best player when he can't even get into 10 goals these past two seasons. I just don't see it. I don't know why he is being linked to Chelsea. I don't really think Chelsea should go for him. Another player Chelsea have also been linked to is Anthony Gordon. Now, here is where things get tricky. If Anthony Gordon were to stay in the Premier League, would he stay in Newcastle or go to Chelsea, where he's also drawn interest from Liverpool, from Manchester United? There are more teams that could want him in the Premier League that have more stable foundations and a stable manager. Well, besides Manchester United, actually, no, Liverpool and Manchester United are both going through also their own kind of weird stints. But yeah, anyways, both teams who are going to possibly be in the, at least Liverpool in the Champions League, who knows? But also, he's being linked to Bayern Munich. I don't see Anthony Gordon turning down Bayern Munich to go to a Chelsea team that is unstable right now. It really is. So I just don't see it. I really, really don't. But he is the most talked about for Chelsea at the moment. On the left hand side, I mean, Cole Palmer, Esteval, no one's really touching those two on that side. There's been no transfer talks for them, so I'm going to keep him there. On the striker position, we have plenty. We do have Igor Thiago, who we talked about. We have another player who has also been talked about recently, but he has been linked to a bunch of teams, and that is Victor Osimhen, who has been linked to Man United, Liverpool, to Juventus, AC Milan. He's been linked to Barcelona. He has been linked to so many teams. Why turn down those teams to go for a struggling Chelsea side? I don't see it. He is going to cost a lot of money. And it's crazy that Chelsea have been able to weasel their way around FFP. But I just don't see Victor Osimhen leaving Galatasaray for them. Another player who has also been talked about in the striker position is Julian Alvarez. Now, Julian Alvarez has also been linked to Barcelona. Whether or not they could go for him is a whole different question. Whether or not Julian Alvarez would leave Atletico Madrid to go to Chelsea is another question in itself. He is a prolific striker, yes, and does have Premier League experience playing with Man City, but I just don't know if he would actually leave to go to Chelsea. Another player who's also being linked to Chelsea who could is Gonzalo Ramos. He currently plays at PSG, has had an iffy time with PSG, still a phenomenal striker, and I think this is probably the most reasonable one they can go for besides Igor Thiago. And I do see Chelsea maybe trying to go for him, but he's not Premier League proven, and I think Chelsea need to start going after players that are Premier League proven, like an Igor Thiago, or like another player which we're going to go into, which is my personal fantasy pick for, which is Ivan Toney. Now I know leaving the Premier League, he has had a pretty good time with Al Ahly. He has scored 27 goals in 28 games and with 6 assists. He is 30 years old, which doesn't fit the Blue Coat system, but he has plenty of Premier League experience. He is a hard worker up top. We saw with Brentford what he could do. I think Chelsea could go for him and really, really, he could link up that attack alongside the likes of Cole Palmer, Alejandro Garnacho, with the João Pedro going in like a secondary striker, or Cole Palmer down the middle like a secondary striker. I think Ivan Toney can open defenses up and really cause havoc in that Chelsea team. That's just me personally. I think he'd be a phenomenal player for Chelsea Football Club. So this is basically what everybody's linked to. This is the fantasy starting 11 that a lot of people have linked to. So as you can see, not a lot of changes. The main changes are, of course, the center back, the left wing back, and the striker, and the goalkeeping. So that is four players. Four players. This Chelsea side is good. It is good. It just needs a manager.
And the manager they should go for is Andoni Iraola. Not only is he Premier League proven, but he works great with younger talent. He would also do well under with Marco Senesi and Alex Scott, which I mentioned in the reasonable 11. I think Andoni Iraola is the pick they should go for. That's just my opinion. There's no way they're gonna get like a Luis Enrique or they're gonna get a Thomas Tuchel, Julian Nagelsmann. I think Andoni Iraola is the pick they should go for, and they should keep him for the whole season and not just get rid of him halfway just because they don't like, his tactics or something like that. I really do hope they stick with one manager one whole season and prove that they are still a top quality team in the Premier League. So that's going to be it for today. Let me know how you guys feel about this video. If you guys want me to make more videos like this, please let me know. And thank you all for subscribing. And I will see you all next time.